Come back. Let's continue. Once more, you find yourself sitting by the tower window looking out over the forest. The witch was right, you think glumly. As you scan the tops of the trees, this tower really is deep, deep in the woods. Though you strain your eyes, there is nothing but green, green, and more green. The trees are nigh on endless. You have pondered the pros and cons of jumping from the window before so that you might run to safety, but you already know that this is a fool's errand. Your room in this stone tower is too high up. For one thing, for you to jump, if you were to attempt it, you would shatter both of your legs, or worse. You are unsure whether you can survive the fall, no matter how verdant the grass is at the base of your tower. And even if you did survive, you would not know where to run. You do not know where the nearest city is. For all you know, it could be miles and miles away. Nobody will be coming to save you, and you cannot save yourself. Princesses shouldn't be too proactive. That isn't how stories like these are meant to go. Like a good little girl, you sit by your window looking out over the forest, which stretches on endlessly, and you think, you daydream and you dither, but in the end, you do absolutely nothing. Once again, the witch doesn't come to see you. It's been 2 days since you last saw her. Only 2 days, but the time has begun to drag. If she went through all of the effort to kidnap you, then why shouldn't she make an effort to spend a bit more time with you? I mean, even if she doesn't, what else can we do? What are we gonna do? Complain? Yeah, right. Then she'll stab us again, and then she'll bring us back to life and stab us again. Like she did in the previous part. Like a bee. Like a effing bee. You have to give her a piece of your mind the next time you see her. Yeah, sure. Yeah, sure. It's not like she's in full control of our circumstances. It's not like she's the one feeding us. It's not like she's the one cooking for us. Yeah, sure. Give her a piece of your mind. I'm sure it'll go smoothly. I'm sure she won't pull out a knife on us. Of course. It really isn't proper leaving a lady such as yourself alone for so long. But has it really been that long? It has only been 2 days. That is not so very much. Why then do you feel so uneasy? Because we're lonely. You have a vague feeling that in your past life, a life you can't remember, you did more than sitting about or lying about waiting. But what else do princesses do other than wait? They wait in their palaces for balls, and then they wait at these balls to be asked to dance, and then they wait for handsome princes to propose and whisk them away to other bigger castles. You should be used to all of this inertia, this yawning empty nothingness, but it still gnaws at you. It consumes you, eating you away from the inside out. But you are a good girl at the end of the day, and you know better than to overstep the boundaries of the role the witch provided you. You are a princess, and princesses ought not to try and escape. All you can do instead is remain in your room and let the world pass you by. Okay. Let's just sit still then, and do nothing. At least the witch can, like, give a... Can't we cook or brew something? I mean, that's what I would do. Don't she? We should really tell her to get us a book on cooking. I don't know about you guys, but I like to cook. Dear one, it really is good to see you again. I missed you. That is what the witch says when she appears in your tower one sunny morning, after smoothing down the satiny fabric of her petal-shaped gown and adjusting her hair. You jump upon hearing the witch's honey words, and drop the book you were perusing from your awkward fumbling fingers. Wide-eyed, you glance towards the window where your unexpected, though perhaps anticipated guest Guest is standing. You hope it does not show on your face. You do not want to be too woefully obvious, but part of you is relieved to see the witch again. You still do not care for her, of course. She is your captor, but her company is better than no company. Though you have always had a fondness for reading, books can only alleviate so much of your loneliness. Yes, you think that is the right word for it. That your tower is lonely. You have been trying not to admit it, not even to yourself, because that feels like a confession of weakness, but the quiet has been gnawing on you. Though the witch is no ally of yours, it is quite the opposite. In fact, it is nice to have another human to interact with. Not you suppose that she is a human, not in the traditional sense of the word. She is still a witch. You cannot trust her, and yet... How have you been getting along, dear one? The witch asks you, her voice positively skipping as she approaches you. I hope you have not been too bored without me. Your cheeks prickle as you dip your head. Quietly you mumble something in response, though it has not been too bad really. You have been reading and books are... Amusing diversions, yes, I know that full well. I used to read a lot myself when I was younger and more awkward than I am now. In my youth, all my friends can be found inside of books. I am glad that we have so much in common. You will have to tell me all about the stories you have been reading later, but for now... The witch looks you up and down. She takes you in your disheveled state. You have not been awake long, though the sun is high in the sky and tuts. Your hair is full of more knots and tangles than a bramble bush, and the collar of your off-white nightgown is slipping down one of your shoulders. You must make quite the sight, a supposition that the witch affirms with a click of her tongue. Dear, dear, you have not been looking after yourself at all. I know being shut up in this tower must be tedious, but you are still a princess. You can't afford to be so careless with your appearance. You really would be helpless without me. The witch retrieves the brush from your bedside table, then approaches you. Let's get you looking pretty, shall we? The mattress depresses beneath the witch's thighs, and you sigh. That actually rhymes. Depresses beneath the witch's thigh, and then you sigh. You know there is little point in trying to pull away from her. Even if you did, where would you go? The witch is all that you have. Without her, you are nothing. Your own worthlessness has already been imbued deep within your bones. You do not want to admit it, but even you cannot deny the wave of relief which comes when you finally submit to her. The witch stays with you in your tower for a few days, just as she did when you were first incarcerated. She tells you stories about her travels and about the sad girls whose wishes she oh so kindly grants. She also tells you fairy tales, some of which you remember, though vaguely from your childhood. She toys with your hair, weaving flowers through it, and she brews you cups of tea to keep you warm. She dresses you up in various outfits and she paints your face as if you were a doll. Then when the night falls, she takes you to bed, embracing you, your bodies slotting together as if it were meant to be. Though her touch unnerved you in the beginning, you begin to find a strange sort of comfort in her proximity. What else do you have, after all, to spend time with? Who else will look at you like the witch does, with enchanted eyes, as if everything you have to say, not that she gives you ample opportunities to speak, is utterly enrapturing? You have never met anybody like her before. At least you do not think you have. Your past is hazy, your memory is vague and cloudy like the surface of an old mirror, and you cannot remember. Still, you think that the witch must be special. She makes you feel special, and that is reason enough to hold her in high esteem. Then when she leaves you, you cannot help but feel her loss. The tower feels uncomfortably empty in her absence, like a newly missing tooth, an empty cavity which aches. You sit up in bed early in the morn after her departure and toy with your hair. You run your fingers through it just as the witch did, but you are hopelessly clumsy and your fingers falter. You try to braid your hair, but you cannot manage it without it coming untied. Part of you wonders whether this is not some great failing, given you are a princess. Are princesses not supposed to take great pride in their looks, primping and preening? You must be a poor sort of princess. But despite that, the witch still cared enough to try and kidnap you. That must mean you are worth something. If not to your parents, did they ever really love you? If they haven't bothered to look for you, then to the witch. At least you have her, and that is enough, for the present, to soothe you, no matter how hollow your heart might feel. The days pass by slowly as you wait for the witch's return. Not you try to tell yourself that you really care about her. She might have braided your hair oh so gently, threading flowers through it, and she might have fed you sugary sweet treats with her fingers. But still, she tore you away from everything you once knew and loved. She has ruined your life. You know that you should despise her. But when the witch finally returns, you set your book down a little too quickly and look at her a little too expectantly. The witch seems to notice this. She notices everything with those eagle eyes of hers, because she giggles and says, My, somebody's eager. Did you miss me that much, dear one? Your face flushes at this like a red-capped mushroom, and inwardly you wince. You wish you weren't so transparent. You look at your feet, you cannot look at the witch, your captor, and mumble something that is only faintly intelligible. Your response is hardly elegant, but the witch catches the general gist, because she chuckles. Come now, don't be like that. I know that you like me really, otherwise you wouldn't look so enthusiastic. You tell the witch sullenly in the voice of a truculent child that you are not enthusiastic. She is reading too much into things. If you say so, dear. The witch smiles, then reaches into the wicker basket that dangles from the crook of her arm. It seems like you're determined to be difficult today, though why I don't know. You ruin your pretty face scowling at me like that. But maybe this'll cheer you up? The witch draws something from her basket, and entranced despite yourself you observe her. You see that she is clutching a small stack of books, 3 of them to be precise, bound in leather. She holds them to you like a peace offering, her smile soft. Here, is this enough to satisfy you, dear one? You thank the witch for her thoughtfulness, feeling ashamed by your earlier conduct, and she beams. It is no trouble at all. I would not wish for you to be bored. Now, let me look at you. How have you been faring in my absence? I see you have been eating well, that's good, but... The witch examines you critically as a sculptor might eye a piece of marble, conjuring with their mind's eye the hidden art piece waiting to burst forth from within. Something about the way the witch looks at you makes you tremble. Her gaze really is discerning. It's as sharp as a razor, uncomfortably so. Why does the witch makes you feel like this? You do not know, but... Oh dear, your hair looks awfully naughty. I fear you've not been taking proper care of it. You ask the witch once more why it matters, and she tuts. Of course it matters. If you stop paying attention to your appearance, my eyes might begin to wander. I am a fickle woman after all. Bro, I remember all of this dialogue. It's like the developer just copy and pasted the same dialogue. Like, come on, at least do something different. Like, write slight variations of it. She's hardly a woman. She's a witch. Yes, exactly. We're notorious for being inconstant. Though I suppose that is what happens when one lives as long as we do. The witch chuckles, then retrieves the gilt-backed brush from your bedside table next to the pile of books. Now, would you let me take care of you? Let's get you looking presentable. You bristle at the witch's words. How impetuous she is, though you wonder whether your response might be in part from anticipation. Apologies for the slight pause there. Gotta swallow for a bit. The thought of being taken care of is not wholly unpleasant, even if the one who means to take care of you is a witch. God damn, a lot of days have passed. It's been almost a month since you were kidnapped, not that you know it. Time has lost all meaning to you. Shut away within your tower, but it continues still. That is 30 days and 30 nights, more than 700 hours spent trapped within the stone walls of your new home. Yes, you suppose you have begun to regard this place as a home. It is where you now live, whether you like it or not. You have not yet found a way to escape. You do not know if such a way exists. The walls of your towers are thick and impermeable, and your room is too high up for you to jump out the window. There are no stairs which lead downwards to the entrance at the base of the tower, if indeed there is an entrance at the base of the tower. For all you know, there is no way out. Is that not what the witch had told you? She said she was the only one able to enter and exit at will. You, meanwhile, are quite in her thrall, incapable of escaping. You have been in there for such a long time, you're beginning to wonder whether you even want to escape. Where would you go if you were able to leave? What would you do? You do not know. So you continue to stay there. There is nothing else for you to do. And so the days pass, and we sit there waiting for the witch to come to us. It passed and it passed. How exciting. Do you ever feel like screaming, dear one? This again? Are you bringing out the knife again? The witch asks you this question one day, when she is sitting with you upon the bed. Once more she is toying with your hair, her fingers sneaking through it like the teeth of a comb. Her fingers are long and cold, as are her nails. They scrape against your neck, oddly inhuman, and you tremble, though you try to suppress it. You do not want her to know that she unnerves you, or worse still, that she endears you. You ask the witch, who sounds uncommonly weary, whether something is bothering her, and she sighs in response. Is it that apparent? It is rather apparent, yes. It is not like the witch to speak of being tired. You thought this was an emotion which afflicted lesser people, and not all powerful beings, such as herself. Oh, you flatter me. I'm hardly all powerful. I've endured my fair share of hardship before I was able to become the woman I am today. I have suffered in my time, oh yes, more than you might realize. But my recent suffering has been of the more manageable garden variety, I suppose. You incline your head, taking care not to disturb the delicate braids the witch is twining through your hair, in interest. What manner of suffering could be described as garden variety? It is silly really, but the witch clears her throat, then says, I told you that I grant wishes, yes? You think she had mentioned it, yes. Well, there's the thing. Putting yourself in a servile position to others only ever results in headaches. So many girls demand so very much of me, it fast becomes tiring, and they can be so ungrateful too. I have been doing my best to live up to everybody's expectations, but it wears upon me. I have rather begun to sicken of other people. They can go and rot for all I care. But you are different. I know, no matter how much hardship I have to endure, you will not leave me. You will not abandon me. Again, that's because we can't. We're trapped high up here in the tower. I won't let you. Exactly. My, you really have become obedient, dear one. The witch's voice is warm in your ear. her breath ghosting against your skin as she sits behind you upon your bed. Once again, the witch is toying with your hair. She never seems to tire of it, and you no longer try to pull away from her. You do not want to. What would you be without her? At this point, you can hardly imagine. The witch, recognizing how dependent you have become, giggles and says, "You really are a good girl. You were quite the handful in the beginning, but you have warmed up a good deal. It makes for quite the change." Now tell me, dear one, do you miss me when I am not there? You swallow. Your own saliva tastes musty on your tongue, like an old dress which has not been worn in years, like a subterranean prison cell which sees no sunlight. Though the witch is asking, it is a moot question. She already knows the answer. Yes, you miss her. When she's away, you miss her awfully. How nice. I'm glad to hear it. It is wonderful that you can finally be honest with yourself, but I think you're still holding back. Holding back? Indeed, I think your feelings towards me, dear one, are even more intense than that. If you miss me, then it makes me wonder. Do you also love me? You stare at the witch with wide, anxious eyes, just like a deer's. This question has stirred something within your chest. Half-remembered dreams, perhaps, or passing fancies, or maybe even memories. You can recall somebody asking you this question once a long, long time ago, but you don't remember who it was. You don't remember how you responded to their query. You do remember the pain, however, short and sharp. Then there was nothing. Well, the witch asks, her rose-colored eyes affixed upon you. What do you have to say? You do not know. You stand there, shaking, your hands clasped at your heart, as if to defend it from a vicious predator, a clever-eyed crow, perhaps, who likes to make meals out of knock-kneed princesses. What should you say? Again, there's so many options. Wow, look at this. Wow, look at this. So many options. Wow. Look at the variety of choices. Wow, look. I don't love you, I don't love you, I don't love you, I don't love you. We'll go with the first one. Okay, I'm gonna save here just in case there's some kind of different ending to the different choices. Though you know the witch's question is a loaded one, you know full well what answer she wants. You cannot bring yourself to give it. You cannot tell the witch that you love her even though your body is screaming at you to do so, your every nerve ending on fire. You have vague memories of beholding this scene once before, of the witch standing before you, a knife in hand, but even then you will not betray yourself. You will not let her get the better of you. She has taken so much of you already, your freedom, your future, and so many, many hours. You will not let her have your heart too. That is something you must guard jealously, for as a princess, is your heart not the greatest asset? Not your greatest asset. You must keep it safe, so that you might bequeath it to a handsome prince, who might one day come by to rescue you. But the witch must know what you are thinking, because the smile which paints her lips is cruel, mocking even. She snorts, then says, "Oh, you mean to reject me because you think a prince might rescue you? It is a petty notion, my dear, but there is no prince to rescue you now. There is just you and me. You can accept my love or not, but if you don't, you will suffer the consequences. Haven't you learned your lesson already, you silly thing? You really are stubborn." There is a flash of light. The witch retrieves, seemingly from thin air, a knife, one with a short blade, but it is sharp enough. You know from past experience how very devastating that blade can be. You are sure now, as you back away from your captor, that this scene has played out once before, exactly as it is now. You are sure that the witch has descended upon you, knife in hand, but your feet refuse to move. They root you to the spot, as if you are an old oak tree, incapable of breaking away. This is simply your role to play in this story. Fair, pretty princesses always meet tragic ends like this when there are no princes about to rescue them. You played with fire, you poor little fool, and now you have become hopelessly burnt. The witch plunges the knife into your breast for a second time, while you stand there unresisting. Why our breast though? What, she jealous? She's jealous of our chest. Ah. This time she makes quicker work of you, and then she pierces your heart in a single blow. Your body slumps to the ground senseless, just like a doll's. And once again the cycle repeats itself. So we're gonna see the same dialogue. You feel pain when you finally wake up. Your whole body burns as though cast into flames, and the first thing you do upon waking is scream. You scream over and over again like a banshee, all while tearing at your body, grabbing fistfuls of cloth between your fingers as if you mean to rend your own nightgown asunder. Somebody stabbed you, you can remember that much. A knife plunged into your chest between your ribs and pierced your heart. You bled out and you died, and it hurt. It hurt so much. You don't know why you're still sitting here unblemished, or why you're still breathing. What is going on? You shouldn't be alive. You died. You're sure of it. You know that you died. You felt yourself dying. You felt your corpse slowly becoming cold as you lay there, still and stiff. A porcelain doll made immovable, a mutable flesh, left to mold and wither away. But your chest is whole, your nightgown clean. There is no blood. There is no wound. What happened? You examine yourself, your heart beats slowly steadying. With shaking hands, you press your fingers to your chest, as if this act might reveal some secret cavity which you can wriggle your digits inside, like worms. You pat yourself down, but in vain. There is nothing wrong with you at all. And now you're starting to feel rather silly. You flushed, embarrassed at your unseemly conduct, when all of a sudden you hear a footstep. You whip your head upwards, the lights in the room flickering, the moon outside sinking, then rising again. And... ooh, I see you're finally awake. You recognize the voice, but where is its owner? Ah, just there, you see her now. There is a woman standing by your bedside. She has hair the color of sunset that curls around her face. Her eyes are soft and a smile plays about her lips. She looks sweet like an angel, but you know only too well that looks can be deceiving. Bro, come on, show me some different dialogue. This is the same thing over again. Have you not spoken to her once before in this very room? You are sure you have, but the harder you try to grasp these details, the more faint and flimsy they become. Perhaps you are making it up. You have always had a penchant for daydreaming. You have not seen this woman before, and if you have, you must have seen her in a dream, or else perhaps a nightmare. Oh, you poor thing, the woman tuts. It is almost as though she can tell what you are thinking, or maybe she can simply see your feelings written upon your face, because she says, "You look to be in a bad way, you're awfully dazed, but I ought to be able to help you. Here, drink this." The woman with eyes like roses hands you a mug, one which is earthen and full of some warm liquid of a suspicious honeyed hue. You look down at the cup and its dun brown contents askance. Is this really safe for human consumption? Yes, it's fine, silly. I've not poisoned it, if that's what you're worried about. In fact, it's the opposite. Which, don't you ever get bored of saying the same thing over and over and over again? The opposite? Indeed, I enchanted it to soothe any unwanted aches and pains, and I'm sure your head is aching. It must be after everything that's happened. What happened? Now, I'll only answer one question at a time. It'll get confusing. Okay, I'm tired of this. It's all the same dialogue. I'm skipping. Blah, blah, blah. Blah, blah, blah. Blah, blah, blah. Blah, 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 blah. Blah, 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 blah. Blah, 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 blah. Surprisingly so, it makes your lips tingle. Blah blah blah. As for the taste, well, it's not unpleasant. Blah 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 blah. Blah 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 blah. It tastes too good, and your head does feel a lot lighter now. You thank the woman hesitantly. You know not what else to say, and she beams. It's alright. I thought you could use a little. Yeah. Seen it before, haven't you? No, you don't remember? Not a single thing. Okay, yes, seen it before. Here's the thing. It's a kidnapped princess. Yes, you kidnapped princess. But it isn't. Yes, no. Instead, your whole body tightens. Princess. Yes, princess. Yes, princess. Yeah. Bro, show me something new already. Is this game trolling me? Is this game trolling me? What the hell? This game is trolling me, man. Look at, I remember all this dialogue. Like, okay, whatever. Skip. I'm tired. Why did she trap you in the first place? What does she want from you? Oh, you silly thing. The witch steps out from the stove. She takes your hand and gives them a squeeze. A shock of cold knives through you and you shudder. You observe the witch and she says, I don't want any, I just want you. What I said, you don't need other than yourself, of course. I didn't bring you. Yeah. Yes, I've seen all this before. Prisoner. In another manner, one that's less inconvenient. That is what I wish, but it isn't so easy, you know. It isn't. No, dear one, you are a princess. You could not have remained in the palace. Be wed to a boorish, loutish prince. Wouldn't they all be distraught? The witch speaks softly, her voice, okay. What then? That you will soon discover. Skip, man. This is bullshit. All the same thing, man. You feel a shudder. You've begun to think during the ensuing days that perhaps things would be easier if you were a doll. Then you would not sigh from her touches and would not lean into her kisses, though you wish you could lean away. If you could not feel emotions, perhaps the witch would not take so much obvious delight in drawing them out on you. Then perhaps she would not torment you so. Like a playground bully, the witch keeps on pressing. She pokes and prods until your stony facade crumbles. She takes delight in your whimpers, but she seems to enjoy it all the more when you snap at her. You have told the witch to leave you alone before, but she never does. Your aggression only ever procures from her that light, tinkling laughter which has begun to grate on you so. The laughter of a child who knows not the hurt she is causing. Actually, let me just backtrack for there, because I have a feeling that I've never seen his dialogue before. She stayed at your side rather longer during this visit than she has those in the past, and now the sun is beginning to set. The witch busied herself for hours playing with you as one might a doll, though you of course are much more than that. Okay, if you could not feel emotions, perhaps the witch would not take so much obvious delight in drawing them out of you. Then perhaps she would not torment you so. Okay, seen this before, laughter, or perhaps she does know, but she does not care. You are unsure what is worse. The witch finally seems to have had enough of your company. However, because she rises from your bed, the witch observes you, her long lash eyes narrowed, then says, "It's unfortunate, but I fear I cannot spend too much more time by your side. I need to be off, even I have work to do." Yep, seen it before. You're doing well. Okay, she cut us, I remember. Okay. Yeah, same dialogue. I'm just skipping everything. You would not know where to run. You do not know where the city is. Can I skip? You have no idea if this is the country you were born in, and neither do you know where you are on any map. The witch is the only person who can tell where you are, and where you get the distinct feeling she is not being wholly truthful with you. She responds to your queries, yes, but her words seem to bend just like the sunlight when it meets the surface of a mirror. Her words are like quicksilver, they shift and mutate, and you cannot pin them down. When you ask her where you are, she smiles and laughs and says, "Why, in this tower, of course." When you ask her where the tower is, she says, "In the woods." This is not a lie, of course. You are most definitely in a tower which is situated in the woods, but any attempt to extricate further information from her results in laughter. If you ask too many questions, she invariably starts kissing you. It's quite effective at shutting you up. It's very hard to articulate yourself when the witch's tongue is nudging against your own, and her arms are about you and you are sighing. When she takes you in her arms and she holds you and she kisses you, you forget about your questions. So that this means we start to love her. We're starting to love her. We're starting to get a feeling from her. You forget about trying to escape, if only for a few brief, blissful moments where nothing much seems to matter save her. Then she leaves you, and you find yourself feeling more uneasy than ever before, disgusted at yourself for cleaving so easily to her kisses, and even more confused. You still have no idea where you are, but maybe the particulars don't matter. Where you are in a tower in the forest, and nobody but the witch knows where you are. Nobody will be coming to save you, and you cannot save yourself. Even if you could jump from the window, you can't, and you knew where the city was, you don't. There is something rather uncool about attempting to escape. You are a princess after all, and princesses aren't supposed to rescue themselves. That's not how stories like these go. They are supposed to wait until a handsome prince rescues them, and that's what you do. Like a good little girl, you sit by your window looking out over the forest, which stretches on endlessly, and you think. You daydream and you dither, but in the end you do okay. Hey, something I noticed about this game is that this skip button works, right? When the dialogue are the same. And when there's new dialogue, this skip button just doesn't work. Okay, now we know. Look at this skip button. You can't click it if there's no new dialogue. But when there is new dialogue, you can actually click it to skip ahead, and and skip the dialogue that you just read. I wish the game told me that, right? Instead of wasting a bunch of my energy and time, right? Reading through the same dialogue again and again and again. Ugh, you should be used to all this inertia, this yawning empty nothingness, but it still gnaws at you. That's why you begin reading. It's fortunate that the tower isn't completely devoid of entertainment. There are books at least, shelves full of them, stacked against the stone walls. There are so many books the wood shelves groan beneath their weight. You're hard pressed to pick a book, but you eventually settle upon a romance. It's frothy, inoffensive, and not particularly interesting, but losing yourself within its pages is better than sitting idle. It at least occupies your brain. It stops you from thinking about your predicament, which can only be described as dire, and it stops you too from thinking about her. That really is the most frustrating part about this whole experience. When the witch was with you forever by your side, you could not wait to be rid of her. Now you are rid of her. You have nothing left to look forward to save her next visit. Your world has become very small indeed since you were kidnapped, compressing down on itself until it could be fit inside a walnut shell. That is why you read. If you immerse yourself in somebody else's life, even if it is a made-up life, it might stop you thinking about your own. At the moment, it's the only meaningful way in which you can be free. Look who's back. Dear one, it is really good to see you again. I missed you. Yeah, same dialogue. I'm skipping. The witch retrieves the brush from your bedside table, then approaches you. She has done this many times before, but you find yourself shrinking away from her regardless. You do not want the witch touching your hair. You do not want her touching any part of you. You do not want to be alone, but you do not want to be with her either. You do not want her to disappear, but you cannot bear to look at her. Paralyzed by indecision, you do not knowing what you want, not knowing what to say, you edge away, small and afraid, while the witch smiles. Now, let me make you beautiful. The mattress, okay, skipping ahead. I'm not gonna bother reading the same dialogue. Okay, this is the part when she asks if she misses, okay. Aren't princesses supposed to be calm, composed, perfectly poised? You might not remember much of your past, nor of your life in the palace, but you think you should be accustomed to compliments at this point. Surely princes have been going down on one knee and taking your hand for years, ever since your 18th birthday. It should be ingrained in you, but you feel awkward and clumsy before the witch's words regardless, stripped bare and oddly exposed. It is enough to make you wonder, are you really a princess at all? You look at your feet, you cannot look at the witch, your captor, and mumble something that is only faintly intelligible. Right, time to skip. Here, is this enough to satisfy you, dear one? I think she's offering us books, right? Yep, books. You mean to reply, really you do, but the words catch in your throat. Your initial instinct is to thank the witch for her kindness, but why should you? She kidnapped you. You do not owe the witch anything. You should not owe her anything at least. But that makes it all the more complicated to navigate this gift. What should you do? You dither for a few moments, rendered mute. You never know what to say to the witch, while the witch chuckles. Well, let me leave these for you at your bedside table. You can peruse them when it's most convenient for you, or not if they aren't to your liking. I'm not boorish enough to force a gift upon a fair maiden if she doesn't want it. That is quite curious, given she was boorish enough to kidnap you. Now let me look at you. How have you? Okay, blah blah blah. Same dialogue. What is this? Something razor sharp, uncomfortably so? Why does the witch make you feel like this? You do not know, but you wish she didn't. It makes your skin crawl. Oh dear, your hair looks awfully naughty. Skip. What would you do? Where would you go if you were able to leave? What would you do? The time unspools before you, each day blurring into the other. You have so much time now, but there is precious little to fill it save reading. You have gone through most of the books in your tower already, and you are beginning to long for something more than light, frothy fairy tales, even more insubstantial than sea foam. Perhaps you will ask the witch for more books when she next visits you, though you have no idea when that will be. Her visits are sporadic and she does not always stay for long. She seems to care more about how you look than what you think, and she fusses about your hair and clothes more than your words. But maybe that is to be expected. You are a princess after all. You are raised like a sacrificial lamb, to be bartered away to the highest bidder. That is how all princesses are, whether they are engaged to princes, or kidnapped by witches. They exist to be looked at and to be admired. What they think is of little consequence. The witch's treatment of you rankled in the beginning. It stung your pride, you suppose, as a princess. In the beginning you railed against her. Now, however, you have begun to miss her company. Every day when you awake, you are made aware anew of just how much your world has shrunk. It contains nothing save the witch. There is nothing for you to anticipate beyond her visits, nobody for you to speak to save the voices in your own head. It wears upon you, but you have the strangest of feelings that this is where you belong. This is your new world. You are playing the role that is expected of you. For is this not what princesses are supposed to do? Being a prisoner must be in your blood. It is part of who you are, ingrained into you, just like your knowledge on how to pour a cup of tea without spilling it, or how to address your superiors without making a nuisance out of yourself. You know how to be quiet, how to be meek, how to be mild. You do not know how to stop worrying, however. What will happen to you if the witch begins to tire of you? What then? That's a lot of days passing by. You sure we're not gonna go insane? Do you ever feel like screaming, dear one? Yep. Same dialogue, skipping. So many girls, okay. It almost feels like being back in the conservatoire again. The conservatoire? What is that? Some sort of school for witches? Never you mind, dear. The witch chuckles softly, her fingers stealing in your hair. Her voice sounds light as always, but you detect a strange note to it, a degree of hesitance. Did she misspeak? Perhaps she let slip a bit more than she intended. It is a nuisance, that is all. I vowed that I would not take on more favors for others, but even witches must fulfill their purpose. I have rather begun to sicken of other people. They can go and rot for all I care. Skipping. Once again, the witch is toying with your hair. She never seems to tire of it, and you no longer try to pull away from her. You do not want to. You have grown comfortable in her presence, more than you imagined you might, and the witch has seen this. She has sensed the easing of your breathing, the slumping of your shoulders, and she smiles from it, amused by your easy acquiescence to her affection. You have become docile, just like a cat, and she is well aware of it, and this fact brings a blush to your face. You look at your lap, your eyes half lidded, and tell her that you are simply too tired to fight her off. You have been her prisoner for so long it will be foolish to remain antagonistic towards her. She is the one, after all, who feeds you, who entertains you, who keeps you company. You really are a good girl. You're quite... Okay, skip. Do you also love me? You have been fighting off slowly mounting feelings of deja vu since you first awoke in this tower. But this question finally brings you to your senses. You feel as though you have finally awoken, just like Sleeping Beauty from a long, long dream. The witch has asked you this question once before. She has asked you whether you loved her, and you refused her. You were too proud and haughty to accept her love, and you paid for it. She splashed your blood against the tower floor, and you were left to lie. There in a heap, a sad, pathetic pile. You did not look very much like a princess then, for all of your airs and graces. The witch left you to die, but she is a merciful witch, and she has given you a second chance. What will you say to her this time? Time to save. What's gonna happen if I pick this again? We're gonna go with the first option. Because if that second option ends up being us repeating the same thing again, yeah, I'm gonna go crazy, man. Just looking at the same goddamn dialogue over again. I'm gonna fucking punch my monitor if I see that shit again. In the face of the witch's inquisition, there is only one thing you can say. There is only one thing that destiny will allow you to say. This is the moment that your story has led up to. This is why you exist. Within this tower, with the witch watching over you, you exist solely so that you can love her. And you know the moment the words pass your lips that you have done your duty. You have fulfilled your role in this story. There will be no more resisting from you now. Your shoulders slump in relief, finally content with your newfound bondage with this repeating recursive nightmare, as the witch smiles. She looks at you tenderly as a mother might a child, as though you are her child, and you have pleased her by eating all of your vegetables or tidying up your toys. It took some doing, but you have finally given her the correct answer. Of course you love the witch. How could you not? She is all you know in this world, and all you have to rely on. And is blind reliance not what love is? The witch seems to agree because she giggles. Her fingers curl against your captive cheeks, her nails digging into them just hard enough to hurt, so sharp she threatens for a brief moment to draw blood. But your concerns are soon allayed, or else overwritten when the witch leans in. Softly she says, I knew you couldn't keep holding out against me. You were awfully stubborn, but all of that silly resistance is in the past. Finally you're all mine. My adorable pretty princess. Then she kisses you, a harsh, crushing kiss which robs the air from your very lungs and the sense clean out of your skull. Finally! Yay! Yay! Where's the wedding ring? Where's the wedding ring? You thought after confiding in the witch that she might be more compelled to spend more time with you. You had hoped by sharing your gently blossoming feelings, it would kindle a newfound understanding between the two of you, and that she would come to care for you. You had hoped. Oh, you are not sure what you had hoped. Not anymore, but it was not this. The days continue to slide by, as slippery as an eel's back, yet you see no sign of the witch. She left you food enough to last several weeks, food which does not seem to sprout mold nor turn sour no matter how much time passes. Perhaps it is enchanted. Or she's giving us poison. That means the food is chock full of preservatives that we might as well be eating poison. The hard loaves of rye bread the witch bequeathed you do not turn bluish white from age, and the cheese she bestows you with retain much of their flavor. The punnets of strawberries are still sweet, the cherries tantalizingly tart. You're not in any danger of languishing anytime soon, but though your stomach is full, your heart feels disconcertingly empty. It feels as though the witch has stolen something from you, something precious which you cannot recover. The witch has already stolen you from your old home, your old life. She may also have stolen your old memories, though you are less sure about that. You are beginning to fear, however, that in the wake of your confession, she has stolen something even more intimate. She has stolen your affection, plucking words of love from your lips as easily as she might twist a berry from a bush or the head from a flower. She has harvested your feelings in a manner which, in retrospect, seems uncomfortably calculated. Did she lavish you with gifts so that you might grow to adore her? Did she cultivate your feelings on purpose in the hopes of reaping them, of having something else to steal from you? Now that she has claimed your heart, perhaps she no longer finds you amusing. Has she begun to grow bored of you? What will happen to you then? Will she abandon you all alone in this tower with no way of escaping, with no means of procuring your own food? If she were to do that, you are sure you would die, either of loneliness or of starvation. You are unsure which would come first. You try to take solace within the pages of the numerous novels within your tower, but you have read them all before. The stories entombed within these pages do not change. They cannot distract you from your anxieties. The actions of put upon heroines in any case all seem awfully trite. There is a lot of running through woods, brambles, snagging at the hems of dresses, or else catching in hair. And anyway, these stories all end badly. The heroine always dies. As far as romance stories go, they are not very cheerful. They cannot console you. The witch is not there, and in her absence, you are all alone. Many days pass, and we are left to sit alone. The days continue to pass, but little changes. The witch pays you a handful of visits, but they are infrequent, few and far between, and they are depressingly perfunctory alongside it. These visits do little to assuage you that the witch still loves you. How can she when she comes and goes so very easily, just like a cat? If she loved you, could she really abandon you without a backwards glance? You do not know, or perhaps you do not want to. Dwelling upon it is too uncomfortable. Does the witch not know what she is doing to you? Does she not know how much you have come to care for her? Surely she must, for it was she who pulled that confession. Timorous though it was, and uneasy from your lips, you told the witch that you loved her, and she has repaid you by abandoning you. Did you come on too strongly? Was she unhappy to hear of your affection for her? That cannot be right, not when she laughed upon hearing your confession. You thought that it would make her happy, but was that not presumptuous of you? What do you know of the witch? You do not even know her name. You work yourself up into knots with every day which passes, so much so your insides feel uncomfortably tangled. Not knowing what to say nor what to do, you remain mute. It is easier to say nothing than to say too much, and to shatter what little regard the witch might have for you. But you ache for her presence, for her attention, for her affection. And so, unable to stop yourself, you find yourself asking the witch what you did wrong. Why has she been avoiding you? Avoiding you, dear one? The witch looks at you questioningly, her expression so believably bemused that you begin to doubt yourself. I am not avoiding you. Perish the thought. Why would I do something so callous? You are not sure. That is why you are asking her. She spends so little time with you lately, you just thought. Ah, that is where you are getting tripped up. Tripped up, dear one. You are a princess. Therefore, you should not think you have no need for it. Princesses are made to be pampered by others, not to try and sleuth their way out of their own problems. You will be much happier if you stop worrying, little silly thing. Well, yes, you suppose she's right. You can see the logic there. Your life would be a lot easier if you could simply switch off your worries as if they were a gas lamp, but that's enough, dear one. Remember what I said? There is no sense in thinking. You will work yourself up again. But you cannot help but think. You have nothing else to occupy your hours when she is away, and she has been away so often lately. Ah yes, I suppose you are right. I have been keeping away from you lately, but that is not due to any malice on my part. No? Of course not. My feelings for you remain strong as ever, but I have been awfully busy lately, that is all. There are many sad, lonely girls, after all, with wishes that need granting. If I have seemed at all distracted, that is why. It has nothing to do with you, so please do not cry. I cannot bear to see you looking so sad. What, were you crying? Yes, you are. Your eyes are wet, and so are your cheeks. You poor dear thing. The witch tuts and then leans in. Gently, she introduces her fingers to your cheeks, cupping them as if you are something invaluable. When she touches you like that, you feel as though you are precious. On your own, it is easy to get caught up in the mire of your own thoughts. But with the witch... Shh, easy now. Try not to cry, dear. You will spoil your pretty face. With the witch, you feel like the princess she claims that you are. She makes you feel as though for the first time in your life, you are wanted, you are needed, you are safe. And perhaps that is why you begin to cry in earnest the gentler the witch handles you. You always thought it was a foolish saying, to kill somebody with kindness, but now you think you can finally see the logic behind it. The witch is killing you whether she knows it or not. Even when she leaves you, you're not alone, not truly. She has burrowed her way into your heart, and there you fear she will remain, lodged from now until the end of all times. You will never be able to disentangle yourself from her. You love her far too much for that. You try to maintain a positive attitude as the days elapse, afraid that you might deter the witch if you become too mawkish. Mawkish. Never seen that word. You can get through the days well enough, brushing your hair, painting pictures, or else flipping through the numerous books which the witch has brought you. Okay, this is the part where we save and continue tomorrow. Okay, alright, let's see. See you guys in the next part, where hopefully we reach the end and we can go with the second choice of refusing to love the witch.